Good day to you all. I thought I would try and brighten up your Monday with a little bit of PU action against a guy called NoIceAge from the Smoke and Wi-Fi Battle Finder. Now, looking at his team, I'm thinking Monferno is going to want to lead to get at the rocks and or do some Endeavour shenanigans. So I'm going to go ahead and lead with Girafarig. Now, PU, for anyone who hasn't experienced it before, is not really an imaginary tier, but sort of an unofficial tier below NU. This is the kind of place, if you really want to use a Delibird, this is where you're going to use it. If you really want to use a Delibird. Or Girafarig, or Monferno, or Lopunny, anything like that. So I love this tier. There's a lot of interesting stuff in here. Now I'm going to go for a Psychic on the first turn just to knock him down to a Sash. I figure either he gets up rocks or he, does a lot of damage with Overheat, probably would kill me. Or he kills me with Endeavour followed by Vacuum Wave. You know, the kind of thing. The standard Monferno lead set. But I do manage to take him out. Does a little bit of damage to me with the old Vacuum Wave, but not really too worried. Get my +1 from the Charge Beam, which is brilliant. Now Ordino comes in. Ordino has the most beautiful blue eyes I've ever seen. Just noticed that. Go for a Psychic, and at first I was very impressed by the damage. I was thinking, Girafarig, you're a monster. And then I see that that was critical hit, so had I not got that crit, he would have easily been able to stall me out with, Wish and Protect and, standard Ordino stuff. But because I did get it, the Hacks gods were very kind to me. Do manage to get him down to a point where if he wants to stay in, he'll die to a Psychic. If he switches out, something else is going to take a Psychic. So either way, Girafarig is going to do a lot of damage. Now in comes Maractus, and it does a pretty good chunk of damage, but I figure he's probably max HP, so maybe like a defensive Spiker set or something. But a lot of Maractuses do tend to carry Sucker Punch, so I'm just going to go ahead and Baton Pass out. Now the great thing about this Girafarig set is you get the Sap Sipper, so you can get, +1 physical attack from any grass attacks. Particularly good against stuff like Tangler or Amoonguss, which love using Sleep Powder. And then you got the Charge Beam, forget the +1 special attack, and you can always kind of, Baton Pass it out if you feel like you're threatened. So anyways, I go into the infamous Leech Seed Toxic Stalling Cherrim here and just set up a sub, hoping that he doesn't actually have anything to hit me with. Turns out he has Hidden Power Fire, or Ice I guess, probably Fire. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into Tentacle, because there's not really much that Maractus can do to me anyway. I mean, he can go ahead and set up spikes, which is, obviously not great for my team, but Tentacle being the rapid spinner, not really too worried about it. So he goes for a Giga Drain here, and this is where he finds out I have the Liquid Ooze ability. Now, it may look like that's a bad thing for him, in that he's actually absorbing my ooze and therefore being damaged, but you can see in a second he actually tries to use this to his advantage, and I say no, not having any of that. So I go for Knockoff, figuring he might want to switch. I kind of assumed he would have the Heat Rock if he's got a sunny day thing going on. But in any case, go for a Toxic here. He's down to a range where I know he's going to want to kill himself off, because I could stay in and go for a Rapid Spin. But I'm figuring he'll want to go for Giga Drain, so he dies to the Liquid Ooze. Therefore, I won't be able to Rapid Spin away the spikes. So I make a bit of a risky play, going to Girafarig, and that works out great for me because I do get the +1 in physical attack. Now unfortunately I don't actually have any physical attacks on this Girafarig, so it's purely for Baton Passing out. Gonna Baton Pass now, predicting the Sucker Punch again, and this time he actually does have the Sucker Punch. I assume Nidorino would have, kind of a physical offensive set. I believe it does get Hustle, so you could have like, Sucker Punch, Poison Jab, Hone Claws, and some other attack. Not exactly sure. Anyways, go into Sudowoodo here just because I can wall most Nidorino sets and I guess set up a Rock Polish. Hopefully go for a little sweep. And Sudowoodo is one of those things I've been trying to get a sweep off of reasonably successfully, inspired by Blacklight Attack, and it works reasonably well. I mean, it is pretty slow. Luckily it does get the Sucker Punch, but once you manage to get up a Rock Polish and, heaven forbid you actually manage to pass off an attack stat from Girafarig, which I luckily did, you can get a decent sweep going. Unfortunately, Carnivine is having none of that. Does put me to sleep there, so I'm going to go ahead and switch into Lipud. Now, I've never actually seen a Carnivine in battle before, so I didn't know what to expect, but I kind of thought either substitute or sword stance, so I thought, yeah, go to Lipud, encore him into whatever, so he's not really too much of a threat. And he goes for the sword stance, which is great. I did sort of question as to whether or not I could actually take him out with a foul play if he was just at +2, but I thought, yeah, it's probably safer just to go for the encore and then, you know, deal with it a bit later. Now, I've recently put sub on this guy because with leftovers, I kind of figured that it's a lot more useful than having T-Wave or Taunt because, you know, I guess Taunt is pretty good, but I kind of prefer having the encore on there. And, you know, the fact that I have sub means that you can easily kind of partner it up with the whole swagger foul play thing. You know, you can swagger something and then just keep subbing down until they hurt themselves in confusion, and then just go for some foul plays. So it kind of works out. And it does mean that this Audino literally can't touch my Lipud here. I guess he has Toxic as his one sort of offensive move, but in any case, Carnivine comes back in as I go for a swagger. Now, because I'm behind the sub, I feel pretty confident in just going for a foul play and seeing how much it does, pretty much. So I go for it here, and you do not, repeat, do not want to underestimate Lipud. That is a foul play. So, foul play is weird because, I know I've explained this before, but it's the equivalent of them attacking themselves with a 95, I think, base power attack move, and it takes into account any attack boost they've got. So, you know, from the swagger. That was a +2 Carnivine attacking itself with a foul play 95 base power move, and it takes into account the stab bonus from Lipud, so that's a pretty powerful hit. And I gotta be honest, Lipud is the thing that gets the most kills in most of my PU teams. As weird as that sounds, but yeah, pretty damn good Pokemon to use. Max speed, max HP. Definitely recommend giving it a go. Now in comes the Magmar, and I didn't want to go for a swagger in case he had, you know, physical moves and he just wanted to Flare Blitz and sweep my team. Didn't want to play around with that. But turns out his Mach Punches aren't really doing all that much to Lipud. I'm not really sure why I didn't go for Flare Blitzes, but yeah, anyways, go for a foul play and take him out eventually. In comes Audino again, and at this point he's just going to decide to run because, you know, I guess he couldn't really do anything to Lipud when it was behind a sub. So yeah, that was a really interesting match. Great first PU game, and, you know, definitely going to try and play some more of this tier, because I find it kind of a lot more entertaining than NU. Purely because of the sheer variety of stuff you can see in this tier. I mean, would you ever see a Maractus in NU? Let's be honest. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.